Have you ever asked yourself, why do I miss someone who hurt me so badly? Why does your heart still ache for someone who made you cry? Someone who broke your trust, changed completely, or made you feel unloved? You tell yourself to move on. You remind yourself of all the pain they caused. Yet somehow, deep inside, you still miss them. You still think about them at night. You still wish they would come back. And sometimes, the most confusing part is this. You know they hurt you, but your heart still longs for them. If this has happened to you, you are not alone. There are deep emotional and psychological reasons behind it. And today, we are going to understand why letting go feels impossible, even when someone has hurt you. One of the biggest reasons you miss someone who hurt you is because at one point, they were your entire world. You did not just love them. You built your life around them. You woke up thinking about them. You slept after talking to them. You shared your happiness, sadness, fears, dreams, and even your future plans with them. For a long time, your brain became emotionally dependent on their presence. You never imagined life without them. Maybe you even thought, I cannot breathe without this person. I cannot survive without them. And when someone becomes such a huge part of your daily life, losing them feels like losing a part of yourself. That is why even after they hurt you, your mind still searches for them. Not because pain feels good, but because your brain became used to their existence. Think about this. Imagine someone who drinks tea every morning for 10 years. Suddenly, one day, it disappears. Even if tea was not perfect every day, their body still misses the routine. Love works in a similar way. Your heart misses what became familiar. Another painful reason you miss them is because you remember who they used to be. When the relationship was good, they loved you deeply. They cared for you. They gave you attention. Maybe they made you feel special in ways no one else ever had. They checked on you. They stayed up talking to you. They made promises. They comforted you during hard times. And your heart still remembers that version of them. Sometimes, the hardest thing is not losing the person. It is losing the person they used to be. Because in your mind, you keep replaying the good memories. You remember the late-night talks. The laughter. The love. The moments when they made you feel safe. Your brain keeps asking, what happened to us? You start believing maybe the loving version of them will come back again. But here is the painful truth. Sometimes people change. Sometimes relationships change. And sometimes the person who once loved you deeply becomes emotionally distant. This change is what hurts the most. Because your heart is still attached to the past version of them while reality is showing you someone completely different. Another reason you miss someone who hurt you is emotional addiction. Yes, love can become addictive. When relationships are intense, your brain releases chemicals that create emotional attachment. When they gave you love, attention, affection, your brain felt happiness. Then when things became bad, your heart waited desperately for the good moments to return. This creates an emotional cycle. They hurt you. Then they love you again. Then they hurt you again. And without realizing it, you become attached not only to the person, but to the emotional highs and lows. It becomes difficult to leave because you keep hoping things will go back to how they once were. You tell yourself, maybe if I try harder, maybe if I love them more, maybe they will become the same person again. But relationships cannot survive on memories alone. Love needs consistency, respect, and emotional safety. Another reason is loneliness. Sometimes you do not miss the person. You miss the feeling of having someone. You miss the habit. You miss texting someone. You miss sharing your day. You miss hearing, did you eat, or, are you okay? Silence feels heavy after someone leaves. And loneliness has a strange way of making us remember only the beautiful parts. Your mind forgets the nights you cried. The disrespect. the emotional pain, the disappointment. Instead, it highlights only the good memories. That is why many people return to relationships that hurt them. Not because they forgot the pain, but because loneliness made the past look prettier than it actually was. There is also another painful truth. Sometimes, you miss them because you gave too much of yourself. You invested years. Your emotions. Your loyalty. Your time. Your dreams. Maybe you imagined marrying them. Growing old together. Building a future. And when it all breaks, your heart struggles to accept that all those dreams are gone. It feels unfair. You think, how can someone who meant everything suddenly become a stranger? And because of this emotional investment, letting go feels impossible. Your mind keeps fighting reality. You keep hoping. Waiting. Checking your phone. Replaying old conversations. Thinking maybe one day things will become normal again. But healing begins the moment you stop chasing who they used to be and start accepting who they are now. This does not mean your love was fake. It does not mean you are weak. It simply means you loved deeply. And deep love does not disappear overnight. Healing takes time. Some days you will miss them terribly. Some nights you will cry. Sometimes songs, memories, or places will remind you of them. That is normal. But remember this. Missing someone does not always mean they belong in your life. You can miss someone and still know they were not good for you. You can love someone and still choose yourself. And one day, slowly, without even realizing it, you will stop checking your phone. You will stop replaying old memories. You will stop waiting. And you will breathe again. Because healing does not happen all at once. It happens little by little. Until one day, the person you thought you could never live without becomes someone you rarely think about. And maybe the biggest lesson of all is this. Sometimes we miss people not because they were right for us, but because they once made us feel loved. But never forget, real love should not destroy your peace. The right person may hurt you unintentionally sometimes, because nobody is perfect, but they will never repeatedly break your heart and make you feel unwanted. So if you miss someone who hurt you, be gentle with yourself. Your heart is simply grieving the love it once believed would last forever. Before you leave, tell me in the comments, have you ever missed someone who hurt you? And what helped you heal? Sometimes sharing your story helps someone else feel less alone. If this video touched your heart or helped you understand your emotions a little better, then don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to the channel for more deep psychology and relationship content that truly speaks to the heart. Take care of yourself, and remember, healing takes time, but one day, your heart will feel light again.